Mutants are everywhere, but some are plotting to take over the world. As part of the X-Men, you'll have a chance to fight these villains and try to establish a world where both mutants and non-mutants can dwell together in peace in X-Men Mutant Insurrection. Hey everyone! Welcome to Tampton House Studio D. I'm Alan.
And I'm Karen.
And today we're playing with X-Men. X-Men Mutant Insurrection by Fantasy Flight is a 1 to 6 player cooperative game of dice rolling and world travel.
Well, world travel as in you are fulfilling missions across the world to save humanity from evildoers like Magneto, Dark Phoenix, and more. All within the space of 1 to 2 hours.
X-Men Mutant Insurrection was designed by Richard Launius of Elder Signs fame and Brandon Perdue. In fact, if you have played Elder Signs, some of the gameplay mechanics may seem familiar to you. The components for this game include 16 hero markers and bases, the Blackbird, 3 sets of colored dice, the threat track and tracker, various tokens, and lots of cards.
The game mat that we have here is not part of the base game, but can be purchased separately and is good for keeping your game area organized.
Setting up the game for play is fairly easy. To begin with, each player selects a hero, taking the hero card, matching assist card, and hero marker. Hero markers are placed aboard the Blackbird.
The 3 school cards go in the middle of the game mat. Shuffled mutant and bond card decks are placed next to the school.
Divide up the missions by continent and place them in individual stacks. Fewer players require fewer continents, so any unused stacks can go back into the box.
The threat track with its cards and the villain deck go above the school. Determine which difficulty level you'd like to play and place the threat tracker accordingly.
The dice and various tokens should be set to the side where players can easily reach them.
Now you're almost ready to begin. If you're playing with 2 to 4 players, you will choose 1 continent deck and flip over the top mission card. With 5 to 6 players, you would flip 1 from another continent as well.
Lastly, choose a plot card and read the text, resolving any setup directions. Now you're ready to send the X-Men forth to vanquish evil and establish peace. There are 4 basic phases in each round, but the number of rounds will vary according to how successful you are accomplishing your mission.
First is the deploy phase, where each hero will move to either a mission card or a school card. School cards allow heroes to heal any damage they may have and can have other helpful effects.
There are usually multiple mission cards open for our X-Men, and each mission can have up to 3 heroes on it. How the heroes divide up and which missions they visit is completely up to you. You'll want to consider the mission's requirements and which color dice each hero can roll when determining who will go where. Also keep in mind that heroes on the same mission can assist each other, altering which colors of dice the active hero will roll.
During the mission phase, the active hero will roll and re-roll dice, exhausting any special abilities he has available to modify his dice or number of rolls, and attempt to complete the mission. Any objectives successfully met by the active hero are covered, and unmet objectives remain open for the next hero deployed to that same mission to try to finish. If the heroes succeed in completing the entire mission, they reap the stated rewards. However, if any objectives are unmet, the mission is considered a failure, and the heroes will have to suffer the consequences, like taking damage, raising the threat level, or breaking bonds. Completed objectives will remain completed, but the hero will have to attempt the remainder of the mission another round.
After all the heroes have attempted their various missions, the threat phase is resolved. This involves raising the threat level according to the number of threat symbols, flipping more missions, and then drawing and resolving a threat card. Some threat cards have events that will have an immediate effect on the heroes, while others will have villains or sentinels that will attach themselves to current missions, making them harder to complete.
The last phase is the regroup phase. All the heroes return to the Blackbird, assistant cards are returned to the proper hero, and any used mutant or bond cards are unexhausted. If a hero is knocked out from taking too much damage, a player removes that hero from the game and can select a new, unused hero to continue the game with. Then it's time for the next round.
During the game, completing the story missions is your main goal, but you'll need to complete the side missions as well to keep the threat level from getting out of hand. Those side missions can give you some great rewards too, like getting a mutant with additional powers, or allowing you to create a bond with another hero that will benefit you both.
After completing a certain number of story missions, each story or plotline varies of course, it'll be time for a showdown. Each showdown is slightly different in how it plays out and what objectives will need to be met. If the heroes successfully complete the showdown's requirements, they vanquish the villain and win the game.
However, if the threat level gets too high on the track, or the heroes run out of red threat cards, or all of the heroes are knocked out, remember the school is no longer available for healing and heroes cannot be replaced during the final showdown, then the heroes lose and the villains win.
Overall, I enjoyed playing this game. Yes, it's a dice rolling fest, but what makes it fun is all the social interaction, determining which heroes should go to which mission, discussing whether someone should re-roll or not, figuring out which mutants and what special abilities to use at different times. Those are just fun. This is not a game where you just sit back and wait for things to play out. The X-Men need to work together, and it's more fun when they do.
Cooperation is key, and when trading around assist cards, pay attention to those dice colors. The red dice are good for fighting, and the blue dice and yellow dice are slightly better at rolling power or teamwork. But they're not guarantees, which creates the frustration and the fun. But when you do just get that right dice roll at the right time, it's cause for celebration across the board.
The only thing that was sort of a negative for me is when you lose out on a turn. Let me explain. Say that 2 or 3 heroes go to the same mission because it seems like it could be challenging. But with some lucky dice rolls, the first 1 or 2 heroes are able to knock it out. Well, the remaining person then doesn't really get a turn. He went to the mission and it was a success, which is good for progressing in the game. But he really didn't get a chance to participate. Let's face it, half the fun of this game is rolling the dice and utilizing your cards and abilities, so missing out on that can be a little bit of a downer. However, it won't happen frequently, but it can happen. It did to us several times when we played. Now, in all fairness, we were not playing the game at a high difficulty level. There are 2 ways that you can increase that though. 1, choose a plot with a higher challenge level, or 2, start with a threat tracker at a higher difficulty. We've only played easy challenge level plots so far and started them on the normal difficulty level. I'm hoping that as the challenge and/or difficulty levels go up, it will eliminate players missing out on turns, if not altogether, at least not nearly as often.
I would say something similar happens when you visit the school. Healing only takes moments, and the benefits you get from Xavier's office and the danger room aren't game altering when you're playing the easier levels. We did find Cerebro helpful for 1 or 2 of the story missions, and it did give the hero at that location a decision to make at least. But overall, you can feel a bit left out of the main part of the game. However, again, maybe in the harder levels, benefits from visiting the school are more helpful and won't feel like a waste of a turn.
A big plus for me was that this is a cooperative game and works well for a family game night. There is no age level listed on the box, but our 2 boys, ages 10 and 12, figured out the mechanics pretty easily. Their favorite part was rolling, of course, but they had great input strategy-wise as well. In fact, it was our younger son who noticed that because of a shared bond, he could give his training token to his brother, who was then able to complete the final showdown objective and win us the game.
So if you're a Marvel X-Men fan, this is probably a game you'd enjoy playing. The artwork is consistent with the comic books, the game components are top-notch, and the optional player mat is pretty cool too.
And even if you're not as familiar with X-Men, you can still enjoy this game. It's a bit on the light side, but that dovetails nicely with the social aspect.
So in conclusion, if you like X-Men,
or simply games with lots of interaction and plenty of dice rolling, but that aren't too deep,
you'll want to check out X-Men Mutant Insurrection by Fantasy Flight Games.
Thank you.
Because Alan's still laughing at you. It was funny.